And hello, everybody, and welcome to today's Flower School podcast. And I am delighted to have the fabulous Gemma Wakerley here from Digital Florist. Now, I actually met Gemma last year over in Florex, and I was enthralled by what she got to tell us all about her new software system. And that is relatively new, but is actually solving a lot of problems for florists. So, Gemma, you're very welcome to us here today. And tell us a little bit about yourself first. Where did it all come? Are you a florist? How did it all come about?
I am indeed. Yeah, I have a florist shop which I've had for close to 15 years. I run a busy shop in Liverpool, and I guess this software was born out of my own frustrations in dealing with admin, and especially as the shop got bigger and we got more staff and more deliveries, I started to see more and more of a need of it.
Yeah, deliveries, I think, for particularly coming into peaks. And I know when we're recording this, we are coming into two of the biggest peaks for florists, Valentines and Mother's Day. And yeah. I remember as a kid now, and that's before software, before internets, before any websites in the flower shop, and sitting down with books and trying to plan around the delivery drivers, and we would be all over the place, absolutely. And to think now that it can be nearly done with a touch of a button. Tell us how does the system work? So, like, is it designed to take the orders, or what does it do?
Okay, so initially, first and foremost, it is an order management system. So it's designed to take your phone or your shop orders, your website orders, and your relay orders, and get them all into one place, so that you can see what orders you've got to do for the day, the next week, so on and so forth. It is something that I really wanted to do. I wanted to design it so you could use it paperlessly, and we have been using it paperlessly for 2 years in our business with no problems. However, if that's out of your comfort zone, you can use it with paper, no problem. So the idea is you get all your orders together, and then from there you can also divide them into your delivery runs, so you can organize all your delivery runs in advance. You can assign them to drivers. You can put jobs for the drivers to do on there, linked to different addresses. So really, the idea there is to manage your orders. It can also notifies your customers about the deliveries.
Wow.
So it notifies the customer when their order's on their way. It notifies them when it's been delivered. And you can optionally, again, have a photograph attached on delivery, which gets sent to the customer. We found the customers love it, absolutely love it.
I was just about to say that, because it actually sounds like DHL over here, because you get the email or the text to say your order's been delivered, and you get a photograph of the packet sitting outside your front door. Like,
exactly, but with florists, often people.
Sorry, go ahead.
Often people who order the flowers don't receive the flowers, so for them to be able to see the flowers that they're sending is, a service that they don't necessarily get.
Because only last weekend, it was our sister's birthday in Scotland, and we sent her flowers, and she hadn't sent us a photograph, and we were like, send us a photograph of the flowers that you got, because you want to see what she has seen and what she has got. And I think that it also gives value, I think, to the customer that's ordering, and because they can see what they have paid for. And I think when that sort of system is in place, there's more trust.
Yeah, and it's also, I was really, that was something I really wanted, because customers were more and more asking for photographs, but I didn't want it to become an administrative headache. So it has to be done on point of delivery. So it's really slick the way it happens. Your button to press delivery is also your photo button. So it clicks it, knocks it off, and then it also asks for a review. So as a consequence, our reviews have gone up tenfold.
Wow. Amazing.
So we've got really, really good reviews, and people often mention the delivery technology in it again. But again, all of those request reviews, it's automated. So once it's set up, you don't have to think about it ever again.
And reviews are so important for florists, and it's so hard to get them, because by the time you go back around to it, where people are more like, if you are in a restaurant and it's really good and they ask you for a review, you'll do it straight away. But if you don't do it, it just doesn't happen.
The moment's lost, isn't it? A week later,
it is lost. So that's incredible. That's a really, really good benefit to any flower shop.
It's
You
also
mentioned,
the photograph. Sorry, just to go back to the photograph.
well,
It's also really good because it acts as a reference. So let's say there was a query about the order. You can
yeah,
actually go back and speak from facts. You could look at it and
yes,
say, well, yeah, okay. So you asked for a pink and white hand tied. I can see that the florist ignored that and she only put pink white flowers in. I'm going to go and source a replacement out for you. But you can, at least what
yeah.
you've got in front of you is what they can see. So you can, you're not talking around the houses.
That's amazing. It is. It's a great system. And I do know one of our past student of our past florist of ours, Pamela down in Cork, she is using your system. And that's what made me really say I need to get Gemma on, because she was raving about it recently. You mentioned that Interflora. So I know Interflora also has like an order management system. So what happens to the florist that already is using Interflora, but is also getting their local deliveries? How does that work?
Okay, so Interflora does have an order management system. It doesn't put on I guess your shop orders, you would put them onto either our system or whatever system you're using. The website orders would get sucked onto our system. If you're using the Interflora system, if you've got using an independent website, which is non-Interflora one, you would have to manually enter all your website orders on. So what this system does is it gets them all into one place. You'll pull your local orders, your website orders, and your Interflora orders onto one dashboard for managing the makeup and everything.
Yeah.
You can then also deliver all those orders on our software, because obviously part of our software is delivery management. However, Interflora also have their own delivery software, which they're encouraging their florists to use. So if you are using their delivery partner service, our orders can go up on all your website orders, and your local orders can get popped onto their partner service, and it can be delivered there. Their service will then send a message back to us to let our system know when the website orders and the local orders have been delivered, so that they get ticked off the system, so you can see what you need to do, what you don't need to do, that sort of thing. It's all very clear.
Now, we all know, Gemma, florists are not very techy. So how techy do you have to be to work with the system?
Yeah, look, you don't have to be. Again, I knew I've got some older florists working for me who weren't that keen on technology, and it had to be easy for them to use, because if if I didn't get the buy-in from them, it wouldn't be getting used. And it had to make their life easier, otherwise they wouldn't see the benefit of using it. So it's been designed purposely to be very user-friendly, to be very intuitive. There are features, if you're into your tech, there are some really cool features like automations and things like that you can get involved in. Substitutions, you can do product substitutions, a bit like Tesco when you're doing your shop and you can substitute a product, you can do that on there. However, you don't have to use them. They are extra bonus features that you can use if you are that way inclined. For the just general day-to-day order management, it is designed to be really easy, really intuitive, and just to make everybody's life easier so everybody can see what's going on.
Amazing, amazing. Now, I know when I spoke to you last year over in Florex, one of the biggest challenges, I think, for Ireland for these type of systems is our air codes, because and we have found that ourselves from sending kits and stuff like that all over the world, and particularly the UK. In Ireland, the air code brings you, every house has their own individual air code, but in the UK, it's the road, I think, is the air code or the postcode. So I know that was a big challenge. Have you got that sorted now, or?
Absolutely. One of our a couple of our first florists were actually Irish florists, and they had systems which didn't work very well with the air code system. So we worked with them to get it working really well. And Pam was actually one of those. We're very grateful that she took the leap and trusted us to do that. Yeah. So the air code system, we've got it working really well. So there isn't a problem with that.
Amazing, amazing. So if we say a florist already is on a system and has a system, what do you think your system offers that would be more beneficial to them than what they're on already? Because I know we spoke before and you said you were already on a system and there was reasons why you, I suppose, developed this because of the challenges and headaches you had.
Yeah, I guess from our point of view, I went back to go back to 15 years ago when I said that I didn't. I took over my shop. The shop I took over wasn't very modern at all. It was a very traditional florist shop. I think she did have a website, and that was it. And everything else was written by paper. She was a big into florist, so orders were coming in the computer for that. But other than that, nothing else was happening on the computer. So I looked at ways of improving that, digitizing things, just so that if you're an owner manager, if you're not there all the time, you want to be able to look in on things and be able to check that everything's okay. How many orders? You don't want to have to phone somebody and go, well, how many orders do you have today? What's, all these sorts of things. So we started getting all the orders onto one system, which we did use the Interflorist system, which I'm sure has changed a lot since then. However, what we found on a day-to-day basis, it was great. They didn't in that time have any delivery technology. So it was good to be able to see all my orders, all my local orders. I could see them on the calendar, so I could see what all my staff had to do. However, at peaks, the manually putting all our website orders on, putting all our local orders on, just became really cumbersome. So it kind of tied us up. We then looked at other software which we used, and again, similar problems with there were certain things that would happen on a daily basis which were not a big deal. So, for example, the driver has to punch in the postcode to go to a delivery address. However, at peaks, when you've got 50, 60, 70, hundreds of postcodes to punch in, all of those time that it takes to punch those things in all adds up. So what became a great system on a day-to-day basis at a peak, when it should have been helping you, it became really, really cumbersome. To the point I was using different delivery software to route everything. But because I couldn't extract the information, I was having to manually type postcodes in to be able to route them ready for the drivers. The drivers wouldn't then have to put everything through SatNav and things. I would already given them their route to go. So I think after one set of peaks, I was just like, there's got to, the technology these days can do it.
Yeah. Well, when they say in any marketing is find the pain point, and I know coming up now to Valentine's Day and Mother's Day, that is a pain point for many florists, is the deliveries, is planning. And you know what, to be somewhat sustainable, that a delivery driver is not driving 10 times in the same direction, where he could have done one route and deliver them all at the same time. That they're not, and I do think like sustainably that is obviously much better for us, that if time-wise, financially, that you're saving money on your deliveries, because this is going to route them out. So if a florist wants to take on your system, what is the changeover like? But like if they have a system or they have no system in place, like how long does it take to get up and running?
It doesn't take that long, I guess. So any new system you've got to kind of get your head around. We would help onboard you. You would need to connect with your website, with your relay. You can start using the system before things are connected as well, just to get yourself familiar with things. But yeah, let's say a week for argument's sake.
Wow, that's amazing.
It would get you could get yourself up and running. I guess anything where there's layers to a system, where the order management is part of it, but there's things like the task system that's on our system, which the task is, I guess it's to help manage staff. So all the jobs that the staff have to do today on top of the deliveries, they also sit on the dashboard, and you can sign into users, you can have checklists on there, all this sort of thing on the dashboard. So things like that you wouldn't have to do straight away. You could learn your order management, and then we will then teach you how to use the task part of the system. We then teach you,
time. Yeah, amazing.
And maybe after that, if you're happy with that, you might want to go, well, because there's an events module side of it that you can use to manage your event quoting, your wedding quotes and things. Then you would add that on afterwards, rather than try and learn everything all at once.
Yeah, it's a great idea. I know the other challenge for us over here in Ireland is our 2 VAT codes. Actually, we have 3, but for the florists in particular, there's 2 VAT codes. Does the system automatically sort that out as well?
Yeah, again, that's something that we worked with our Irish florists to get that working, so that they could use the data that comes from our system and submit it to their accountants.
Yeah,
Yeah,
amazing.
without having
That's
to do loads of work.
it's like it sounds so easy. And again, as I said, like having spoken to florists that have used it, that all I've heard is good reports from it. What's the one piece of advice you'd give to a florist who is hesitant about taking on technology in their business, particularly this type of technology? Most of them probably have websites, and most of them probably are taking orders through their websites. And they're just, I think creative people are not very techie. They just don't want to do the techie stuff.
No.
You know, we want to play with flowers, we want to work with flowers, and we want somebody else to do that techie. So what sort of advice would you give somebody?
I guess the thing is, the system is designed to make your life easier. If it's making it harder, then that's not the point of it.
Yeah.
So the idea is to save you time, so you're not having to, whether it's manually put website orders on, so you can route them through your delivery software. I guess the advice, as far as if you're hesitant to embrace it, is that the earlier you get on to using something like this, the more it becomes part of your systems. So when you get new staff in, that is how you operate. Being able to work in a system increases the value of your business, because if anybody was to buy your business, they could have a snapshot of your business, how it works, how it operates, and the systems are already in place. One of the things that, because part of the system is that you are delivering and sending photographs to your customers, you're collecting email addresses to do that, which you can then use to market to them. So again, if you are collecting, if you had 1,000 customers a month and you weren't collecting any email addresses, and now you're building up a big database, which has a value if you were to ever sell the business.
Value, huge, yeah. Yeah,
So
amazing.
it increases your value business, and also it makes it smoother, but it makes it smoother especially when you're not there. And I think that's any system, it's important, if you want to try and work on your business, not in your business all the time, you need to know that your business is operating the way you want it to operate. And for that, you've got to have a way of keeping an eye on it. And something like this, you could log in, you can check that what orders have been done, how they've been done. You can assign tasks to your staff, make sure that tasks are getting done, and you can see all that, and you don't have to be there to see it.
So I'm a florist and I have a flower shop, and you have me hooked now. So what do I do? How do I have you a special offer? How much does it cost? Like, not even the system, but like there's obviously a big setup and training and stuff like that. Like, what are the costs involved in that part of it?
So as far as new florists are concerned, we offer no setup fees. So we would connect your website, your relay. We would also give you whatever training you need to get up and running. And we would also give you the first 2 months free. And that's classed as a trial. So if you get to the end of those 2 months and go, you know what, Gemma, it's not for me, that's fine.
Yeah.
However, obviously, we hope that by doing that, you'll go, this is a system I can't live without, and so on and so forth. But yeah, so we give that to our customers because we believe that once you are using it,
they're hooked.
You can see there's no risk to you trying
benefits
it.
Of it.
You can see the benefits of it. You can see how it'll save you time. And if it's not going to save you time, if you think it's going to make your life harder, well, that's not what we want to do. That's our mission is to make florist life easier, not harder. So
amazing. So what better time for anybody that's watching this video it's going out at the end of January. We're coming into two of the biggest peaks, Mother's Day and Valentine's Day, to try it out and see what it's like. But listen, in the description below is all Gemma's contact details. It's her website, her email, her phone number. If you have any questions, contact Gemma. Don't contact us, because we're just here bringing all this information to you. But Gemma has all that.
We also offer a 10% discount for the first 6 months for Kay's Flower School customers.
Fantastic. That's amazing. Thanks a million for that. So make sure you let them know that you've watched Kay's Flower School video, and you can hear Coco in the background, and get that 10% discount. That's phenomenal. Gemma, thanks a million for that. We really appreciate that. Anything that makes flower life easy, or a florist life easy, particularly around peaks, is a no-brainer. Gemma, thank you so much for coming on and chatting to us and giving us all that information. I'm delighted. I've actually learned so much about the system, and as I said, having spoken to other florists that have used the system, they're all very happy with it as well. So thanks a million for coming on, and we look forward to chatting to you again soon.